Hello, welcome to a new video. Baseus dropped this 240 watt charger a little while back, and I'm finally getting around to looking at it. It comes in a big box and hopefully has a lot of adapters because this power adapter does something else. It's something I saw from SlimQ a while back. I still need to look at those new ones. I know, I'll get there eventually. This also has a DC power port that can deliver all 240 watts through one port to a larger power-hungry laptop. My main question is, how long will this be able to hold up for, and is it worth it? It doesn't look like a great seller based on only having paid customer reviews on Amazon, but they are all generally positive, except one user who noted some odd behavior, which I'll be checking out later in the video. I think I'm the only sucker that bought this thing. There are affiliate links which earn me a couple of percent, but cost you nothing in the description, as well as links for more information. Thanks to my patrons and channel supporters. The detailed data is on Patreon. 240 watts in a charger is quite a lot of power. This adapter is unique in that it offers a 240 watt DC output port to be able to power larger laptops that don't work with USB-C. The adapter has the usual markings that you would expect, the safety listing and the DOE 6 in a circle, which indicates this complies with some energy efficiency standards. I'll see about that later on. It comes with a warranty card, 1 year, the usual stickers, and a user manual. Everything is wrapped in entirely too much single-use plastic. The adapter has the shiny reflective face that attracts dust like other new adapters. It also has a display that I'll check out later too. The user manual for this adapter provides various port usages and assignments, and it gets fairly complicated. It'd be nice if this had the infographic style as opposed to the list like this, but it's okay, and if you want to use multiple ports, you can figure it out. The ports do not evenly distribute. So there is a power hierarchy, and it is defined and written in the user manual and on the back of the adapter. The adapter does have a sticky rubber pad on the bottom, and it holds quite well on a desktop. Actually, this is the best I've seen for that part. The USB ports offer many modes of operation. The USB-A port does offer up to 12 volts of operation, but not a lot of power. The USB-C ports will offer up to 28 volts, so 140 watts on one USB-C port. The other ports offer the usual modes of operation and seem to work okay. The DC port offers 20 volts nominally and up to 12 amps of output. This is quite a lot of current though, so the barrel plug, I'd expect things to get pretty warm. It does come with two adapters for laptop connection, one blue tip style and one Lenovo rectangular style. No large barrel connector common on larger wattage notebooks. This is a hint, more on that in a bit. The PPS mode was able to do the full 5 amps at 11 volts out, so that works well. No higher voltage in PPS mode, another common theme lately. Okay, so plugging it in, and this uses too many watts. Not really a surprise, but definitely not level 6 compliant, even turned off. This seems to be a theme with adapters with displays. If you try to pull a light load, like leaving a MagSafe cable plugged in, it will use over a watt. The display on this adapter is weak at best. It's hard to read, it's not accurate. I mean, with 100 watts out, I got everything from 0 to 150 watts. So it's like a pseudo-random number generator. Just don't include it if it doesn't work. It only shows watts, so no volts, amps, etc. to see what mode you are in. This is a weak showing for a promising feature, perhaps software can fix. Another thing this power adapter has is Bluetooth connectivity. I didn't try this. It looks like mostly a monitoring tool, and it has the ability to schedule on and off times. The display is dim and hard to read. Maybe you can adjust that in the app too. The performance for this power adapter is a mixed bag. The correction circuit that cleans up the incoming current wave is very effective in this power supply when switched on. It's only on in the 12, 15, 20, and 28 volt modes. So the PPS mode or 5 and 9 volts, it's off. I'd say this is attempting to save watts, but this is still a very poor choice to charge phones. You can see this in the shift in power quality scores from 25% to 100% being much higher. For efficiency, it is okay. It isn't the worst I've seen. The DC voltage ripple was interesting. It is on the higher side and it changes while you are using it. It has issues with negotiation and maintaining outputs. This is one of the worst I've seen in a while. The average DC voltage levels were okay. An issue I ran into with this adapter is USB negotiation, which I sound like a broken record lately. These adapters all seem to be getting worse. This adapter, unlike the Anchor of last week, had an issue when only trying to pull 28 volts from one of the USB ports. It loops and fails to negotiate correctly until you plug in another USB device. Then it's stable and fine. It's odd that it does this. I also checked a bunch of other adapters to see if this is on my end, and all of them had no issue supplying 28 volts independently or with another device if capable. So it leads me to think it is this adapter. Actually, I will talk more about that 28 volt mode during the over temperature testing. Yeah, it's not a good thing. Thermals will be coming shortly. All AC power adapters have to have separation or isolation between the mains and the DC side of the power adapter. This is measured as leakage current. The lower the leakage current, the better the adapter performs. In practical terms, this is the tingling feeling you get when using your laptop or phone with certain adapters. In terms of the isolation, there are no issues with leakage with this adapter. It is on par with the better performers in this category, which is nice to see. Phew, something good. Okay, thermal time. For this big 240 watt adapter, it didn't last very long. Not much to say about this one. It ran for about 26 minutes, then shut down all the ports. I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it wouldn't renegotiate for higher voltages anymore. So I let it cool off, and it looks like now it's permanently broken. Did I win? I killed it. Is this an opportunity to secret shopper Baseus for warranty claim? This is actually a first. The adapter broke during the test. It didn't break all the way, it just lost the 28 volt mode. I did a reset of the adapter per the user manual, and still no 28 volt mode. Anyway, not a great result. Lots of bragging in the marketing material about efficiency and thermals, and the reality of it is this isn't a 240 watt adapter. So much for that high power barrel plug. Alright, let's compare these things. And yes, comparing to the Anker 240 watt again. I grabbed a few others of slightly different wattages for something else to look at. I included some of the chargers I use on a regular basis. The Baseus adapter is quite a lot lighter for the power level. The Anker came with that desktop stand thing that I included in the weight though, which it also helps dissipate heat. But I think weight is not much of a concern for a desktop style power adapter. The size of these adapters is interesting. The Apple 140 watt adapter is very lightweight, but it's physically large. The Framework adapter is the opposite. It's heavier, but it's also tiny for the power level. The 240 watt power adapter is right in the middle. In terms of the idle performance, I already talked about this, but it's not great. It uses quite a lot of watts just doing nothing. Even if you turn the adapter off, it just keeps chugging along at almost a watt. This is even worse than the Anker last week. The Baseus is turning off the power factor correction and the display, and yet the number still stays high. So not sure what the deal is here. Is it Bluetooth module consuming all that power? I don't know, but there are plenty of lower wattage options out there. In terms of the average performance, these adapters' average efficiency, specifically looking at the DOE 6 efficiency, that means 25 to 100% load efficiency, is a bit more spread out. The Baseus 240 watt adapter on average is a little on the lower end of things, but really over 90% is still a good result. The Apple 140 watt adapter and the Satechi 165 watt adapter are really good performers in this category though. The GaN Prime 240 watt is right in the middle, and seeing as though it can handle the load for a longer amount of time, it may be the choice if you need lots of watts. No DC port though, but if the DC port can't sustain, what's the point? Okay, let's talk about value. These are all kind of expensive. The Baseus does represent a pretty good value for a multi-port device. You get interesting features on paper, and it looks like a good buy. Seeing how close it is to the likes of the Satechi 165 or the Apple 140, I'd probably pony up a little bit of extra cash for one of those if only USB ports are needed. In terms of the barrel plug, I'd stick with the stock adapter. Framework actually represents good value, but it only works with one laptop. Okay, conclusion time. My opinion is a nope for the 240 watt Baseus adapter. This is harsh, and I got some criticism for not being harsh enough. But this one literally broke during the basic testing that every other adapter I've tested and put under similar strain made it through functioning. Yeah, a lot of them shut down pretty fast under a full load, and this is a stressful situation, but it's the number on the box. The general consensus from the audience is that it should be able to do that number. The Anker 240 watt GaN Prime can do this. It is marginally more efficient, and it did make for a pretty good adapter. I'm still sticking with my high efficiency adapters that overheat less often. Let me know if you think this is a fair evaluation, or even with some flaws, this is the adapter for you. I already found the good. It's just finding something to measure up to the existing, which makes for videos that feel negative, but that isn't the intention. Just not so much success there. The 200 watt and 250 watt Anker adapters will be out next week. Thanks for watching. Links in the description. Goodbye.